You know what, Salem? For a game based on Pierce Brosnan's first Bond film, I'd expect it to be more fun than this.
What's the problem? It controls well, you can shoot by pointing at the screen, and if I do say so myself, the online multiplayer is pretty nifty.
Yeah, when the Wii still had online multiplayer. But this is for a 90s Bond film. Why does it look like Call of Duty with 007 skins? Where's that 90s charm? Where are the gadgets? Where are the lasers?
Your demands shall be met, my 90s loving friend. Check this out.
Of course! And what's more 90s than an N64 game? Some of you may remember when I helped Michael the Comic Nerd review this movie. Well, now it's time to take a look at the game based on that movie that really showed what Nintendo and Rareware could do when they worked together on a first-person shooter. Fellow agents, it's Goldeneye 007 for the Nintendo 64.
Now the story is a retelling of the Goldeneye film. Years after a mission in Russia that went bad, Agent James Bond is sent back to find the stolen weapon known as the Goldeneye. Unlike the film though, any storytelling this game does is pretty much limited to mission briefings and in-game dialogue in the form of character movements and subtitles. It's understandable for the technology at the time, but to a point. I mean, as games like Perfect Dark and the 1999 game The World Is Not Enough showed, the N64 was capable of rendering voice acting. So frankly, the lack of any voice acting aside from screams of pain feels like it takes away from this movie-based game. But it's still structured in a way that you can tell it stays more true to the original film than the remake does. The graphics in this game have definitely not aged well. There's muddy textures, some blurry pictures, and most of all, the characters look like something out of Minecraft. But with games like this, you have to look at the time they were made in, and once again, it's understandable for the time. Admittedly, some of the layouts look like accurate representations of the film, even with the changes made to work with the gameplay design. But I have to say my favorite part is the AK-47s that look like pencils. Clearly the pen is mightier than the sword, because it shoots bad guys. So I already talked about the lack of voice acting in this game, but the music and sound effects are very much in the Rareware spirit. Everything is somewhere between cartoony and realistic except for that chopping sound effect. With the music, it's very fitting of 90s James Bond, and it throws in some of that old school Rare flavor. It may be over the top most of the time, but it does enhance what this game was meant to be above all else, a fun 007 adventure. Although most of the level designs make this feel like a corridor shooter, they are more open in structure and there is a nice variety in levels to recreate the locations from the film. With the detail that Rare put in, it does feel like you're playing through an N64 version of the exact same movie. But one issue here is a similar issue I had with Perfect Dark, as there are various objectives to complete in different parts of the levels, but you don't get much of an indicator of where those objectives are. The best example of this is the snow level. While its design is a nice departure from the corridor level majority, a lot of it looks the same. So when I did find the right locations for the objectives, it was often by accident. But back to a positive, I really liked the gadgets you can use. There is a mix of gadgets from the film and some made for this game. The best one being the watch, since it works as a laser and a magnet, but check this out, you can also use its laser as a weapon. Speaking of weapons, Goldeneye has a lot of them, and there's seemingly no limit to how many you can carry. Honestly, a big part of the fun of this game is shooting these enemies with various weapons, and most of the levels throw a crap ton of enemies for you to mow down. Look at this! They just keep pouring in! It gets even more fun when you unlock the Moonraker laser and other powerful weapons. Line them up, and I'll knock them down!
Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
Now that might make the game sound easy, but it's actually pretty challenging, especially in the later levels. Since this was before regenerative health became normal, you have to grab body armor wherever you can and have good maneuvering so that you're not getting shot up or blown up. Also, every level has various difficulty levels with more objectives and stronger enemies every higher difficulty setting. So while you have the option for the most part of going stealthy or being James Rambo, harder difficulties will encourage you to take more of the strategic stealth approach. It's also challenging to fulfill other objectives like not shooting the scientists, or not running over civilians in the tank level. I am evil James Bond. I am evil James Bond. Another thing that tends to make this game more difficult, at least for people not used to N64 shooters, is the game's controls. It's a single-stick control scheme, which of course feels awkward next to two-stick controls. Now, while you can move from side to side with the yellow C buttons, and auto-aim is also helpful, unless you grew up playing shooters of the N64, you'll probably feel uneasy playing this way. And oh yes, I almost forgot one more thing that makes this game more difficult, and her name is Natalia. For some later missions, you have to escort her to escape from a place, or to do computer work, but she is a magnet for gunfire. She'll either fall behind or run ahead into enemy fire, and when she dies, mission fail. Why couldn't they have her be more like the movie version where she knows how to use a gun? And actually, having a Bond girl shoot bad guys alongside you would be pretty badass.
Do you know how to use one of these?
Obviously.
Good. Stay out of sight.
Please. Are you coming, James?
After you.
When you do beat the higher difficulties, you start unlocking cheats you can use in the single player and multiplayer. You have some like dual wielding certain weapons and using explosives and lasers, but the best ones are paintball mode and DK mode. Love those. We need more of things like this in modern gaming. But what really made this game legendary was its multiplayer, that classic 007 deathmatch fun with your friends. What really made this so much fun? Even though it has no AI bots and the folks at Rareware actually threw it in last minute before the game was released. Fun fact, Rareware used to have some pretty crafty bastards. Anyway, what makes this so much fun is a few things. For starters, Rare included several characters from the game and some famous ones like Jaws, Mayday, and if you want to be an asshole, pick the, for some reason, super short Oddjob. Then it's all weapon sets to choose from, especially with the cheats included, with such popular weapon sets as rockets and slappers only. Once that's all chosen, time to turn on paintball mode, maybe DK mode for giggles, and shoot each other in the same levels from the single player game. You bring all these elements together with 3 of your best friends, and it's epic N64 multiplayer mayhem, full of crazy and funny moments like these.
No. Sit! I can't get away! Chop. Okay, I need a gun, like, right now. God damn it, Boris! Fuck! Eat it! No! God damn it, you eat my rocks!
While the N64 Goldeneye may have aged poorly in many ways, plenty of aspects that made it fun in the 90s still make it fun today. If you're looking for the fun of retro shooters but you're still picky, there are better ones like Perfect Dark and Time Splitters. But perhaps for its charm, action, and multiplayer mayhem, it's a good game to buy for your N64 at a reasonable price, even if only for owning an important piece of console gaming history. And that's my review of Goldeneye for the N64. If you like this review, check out my reviews of the Goldeneye remake for the Wii, or my favorite James Bond game 007 Nightfire for the GameCube. See you all next time.
Shall we?
We shall.